Hello, healthcare providers. Let's talk about prescribing decisions. So today we're looking at fluoroquinolones, and specifically glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency, G6PD deficiency. And the main question really is, can you use these antibiotics in patients who have G6PD deficiency?
It's a common question. And, well, the answer isn't a simple yes or no.
Right. There are variations, important ones. The risk isn't the same across all fluoroquinolones.
No, it's not. So maybe first, just a quick reminder about G6PD deficiency.
Good idea.
It's a genetic condition, affects the red blood cells, makes them more vulnerable to certain stressors.
Yeah, fluoroquinolones can be one of those stressors.
Potentially, yes. They can trigger what we call hemolytic reactions.
Meaning the red blood cells get destroyed prematurely.
Exactly. They break down faster than they should. And that breakdown, if severe, can lead to acute hemolytic anemia.
Which is obviously something we want to avoid.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you mentioned not all fluoroquinolones are the same here. Let's get into that.
Right. The key distinction is often between the older and the newer ones.
Older ones like nalidixic acid.
Nalidixic acid, yes. That's the classic example. It's technically a quinolone, the precursor.
And the risk there is?
It's pretty clear-cut. Nalidixic acid has a well-documented definite risk of causing hemolysis in G6PD deficient patients.
So the guidance for that one is straightforward.
Avoid it. Just avoid it in these patients, full stop.
Okay. Avoid nalidixic acid. But what about the newer fluoroquinolones? Things like ciprofloxacin and levofloxacin.
That's where the picture gets a bit more complex. Recent research offers some different perspectives.
Suggesting they might be safer.
Potentially safer, yes. There's growing evidence suggesting cautious use might be possible in certain situations.
You mentioned evidence. Is there specific data supporting this?
There is. One notable study, for example, looked at fluoroquinolone prophylaxis.
Okay.
This was in 59 patients, all known to have G6PD deficiency.
59 patients. And they were getting chemo.
Intensive chemotherapy, yes. So a high-risk group already. They received fluoroquinolone prophylaxis.
And the outcome regarding hemolysis?
0. There were 0 reported cases of acute hemolytic anemia among those 59 individuals.
Wow, 0 out of 59. That's quite something.
It is. It suggests that maybe the risk with these newer agents isn't as high as previously thought, or at least not absolute.
So does that mean we can just, prescribe newer fluoroquinolones freely in G6PD deficiency?
No, definitely not freely. Caution is still the word.
Right.
This study suggests cautious use might be possible, but ideally under specific circumstances.
Like in a hospital setting?
Exactly. A hospital setting is ideal because it allows for close monitoring.
Watching for any signs of hemolysis.
Precisely. You can monitor hemoglobin, bilirubin, haptoglobin, look for clinical signs. You can react quickly if something starts to happen.
Which you can't do as easily in an outpatient setting.
Much harder, yes. So inpatient use with close monitoring seems like the most reasonable approach if you must use one.
Okay. So even with this newer data, it still comes down to careful consideration.
Absolutely. It's always about clinical judgment. You have to weigh the potential risks against the potential benefits for that specific patient.
Right. How sick are they? What's the infection? How essential is this particular antibiotic?
All those questions. And crucially, are there effective alternatives available?
That's always a key consideration, isn't it?
It should be. If there's a suitable alternative antibiotic that doesn't carry this potential risk, well, that's generally the safer route for a patient with G6PD deficiency.
Prioritize alternatives when possible. Makes sense. So let's try to summarize the main points here. If we're talking older quinolones,
like nalidixic acid,
avoid them in G6PD deficiency. The risk is clear.
Correct. Definite risk. Avoid.
But for the newer fluoroquinolones,
the guidance is more nuanced. It's not an absolute no.
It's more of a proceed with caution.
Exactly. Proceed with caution, ideally only if necessary, and definitely with close monitoring.
Preferably inpatient.
Preferably inpatient, yes, where you can watch closely for any signs of hemolysis.
Okay. So the key takeaway is older quinolones and G6PD deficiency avoid. Newer fluoroquinolones and G6PD deficiency, think carefully, monitor closely, consider alternatives first.
That sums it up well. Individual patient assessment is paramount.
All right. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Thinking about your own practice. How does this information impact how you approach antibiotic selection, especially in patients who either have known G6PD deficiency or might be at risk?
Yeah. What further questions does this raise for you day to day? It's definitely something to keep in mind.